Hello everyone, my name is Martha Anaya. Today we will be going over my webinar. My webinar is over trying to open up a successful business and trying to keep it open. My target is going to be more of restaurant-based businesses, but you can definitely take the pointers that I'm giving into any business, whether it's clothing or anything else. So here we go. As I said before, my name is Martha. I am a student at the University of Louisville. I will be graduating this summer with my bachelor's in communications and marketing. When I was younger, my family owned two different kinds of businesses. We owned a clothing store, and we owned a club. Our clothing store, it succeeded, it flourished. We went from a store in about a populated area of 10,000 people, and we were able to flourish it, and we were able to open it up into a mall. We were able to get it into a very popular mall in Iowa, and it just succeeded, and it continued to succeed. We also owned a club, and it was a huge hit. It was amazing. It was bringing in a lot of credit, and it was great, but it slowly started to fail, and then it just completely failed, and we weren't able to keep it running anymore. McDonald's, it's huge. It's a huge corporate franchise business. It's grown over the years. McDonald's has grown to well over 35,000 locations in more than 100 countries. I'm sorry. The two brothers, Dick and McDonald, started this on their own. I read an article about on them and what they talked about, and they talked about consistency, and they talked about how they wanted the McDonald's in Iowa to be it's for people in Iowa to walk into a McDonald's and have the exact same experience as somebody walking into a McDonald's in Las Vegas. They wanted to make sure that everybody had the same experience. It was the same. This food tasted the same. They also talked about innovation. This is one thing that our club didn't do. We didn't innovate. We didn't change things for the consumer. And this is what made us fail. McDonald's talks about how innovation is huge to them. You want to be able to change with the generations changing of different people. Resilience is also a huge thing that they talked about, and that's the ability to weather the storm. Your business isn't always going to be successful. It's not always going to be at its peak. You're not always going to be bringing in large sums of income. But when you're not, you have to be able to keep the business running. As I just said, you can't expect your business to be consistently rising. You're going to hit droughts, or you're going to hit where you're staying in one spot, but you have to be able to get through that, and you have to be able to weather the storm, and you have to be able to find ways to continue to bring more consumers into your stores. A huge thing is customer service. I can think of one place that almost every single time I go into has amazing customer service, and that is Chick-fil-A. They hire great employees. Employees are important. You want to be able to hire employees that are going to give these kinds of things. You want them to be able to give great customer service. Customer service is huge. I used to work at a retail store, and we always talked about customer service. Just customer service is huge in any type of business. You always want to ask your consumer how their day is. Asking them as small as how their day is just shows that you care a little bit. One really, really important thing is ask the consumer their name, and when you step away from them and then come back to them to speak to them again, approach them by their name, and I promise you that will mean so much to them, because just to know that you do remember their name, even though you left and had a whole nother conversation with probably 5 or 6 other consumers, for them to come through and for you to remember their face and for you to remember their name is going to show that you really do care. And sometimes that's all consumers really ask for. And feedback. Feedback is super important from your consumers, because as I mentioned, they are the most important aspect of your business. They're the ones coming in. They're the ones that are going to be spending their money at your business. So always ask for feedback. You know, there may be something that a lot of consumers would like to see you change. It doesn't mean you have to change them, but if you see a consistent request, then maybe, you know, think about why they're asking it, or why they would want that to be changed. Always smile. You know, you want employees that are always going to be smiling. You know, we don't all have good days, but when you come to work, you want to have employees that are able to come to work and just ignore everything that's going on and just work well and do what they're supposed to. Another big thing about opening up a business, you have to be passionate about it. You really have to want it, because there's so much in opening up a business and keeping it open at that. Because I mean, anybody can open up a business, but to keep it open is where people are finding difficulties. I have a passion. It's what I love to do. It's what I want to do. I want to open up my own business, and I will someday, and it will succeed. And if you want it, and you got to put your mind to it, and you have to just be passionate, and you have to want it. Keeping organized is another huge thing. You know, you don't want to be unorganized, having paperwork everywhere. Come tax time, you can't even find the paperwork or receipts that you need. Organization is huge. You know, restaurants or businesses fail because people can't keep their stuff organized, and they lose everything. So then they're just out of place. They don't even know what they're doing. As I said before, there are a lot of businesses that fail. You know, it's hard to keep a business open and running. Things to avoid: failure to deliver real value. You know, you don't want to say you're going to do something, or you don't want to say that you're going to give the consumer something, and it's not real. You know, you're not living up to your word. Connect with your targeted audience and optimize conversations. For that, you have to have great employees. As I said before, Chick-fil-A, excellent. Always have employees that are there talking to you, asking how you're doing, asking if you need anything else. They just make sure that you leave happy, and that you leave in a good, satisfied manner, so that way you return. Target the correct audience, and connect with your audience. If you don't connect with your audience, then they're not going to come back. They're not going to strive or want to come back to your restaurant. And that was my webinar. I hope you guys enjoyed, and have a good day. Bye.